All right. So vamos a empezar. Let's go ahead and start standing maybe in the center of our mat so we can look at each other just for a little bit. I'll put my little manta aside. And I want you to take a second before we do anything too serious. And just stand in your feet. So push for a moment your heels into the floor. And then take a second and you can pitch your weight a little bit forward and push the balls of the feet into the floor. As you push the balls of the feet in the floor, spread the toes out so that you're just widening the base of your feet here. And then you can kind of roll your weight a little bit forward and back in your feet. And as you take this little action, I want you to imagine you're dropping your tailbone down. Place your hands here on your hips and just feel, Nagin and I were talking about this yesterday, incidentally. Most of us have slight rotation in our pelvis. It'll either go right or go left. Mine definitely kind of pivots to the left. So as you're moving, try to keep these hip bones steady and equal and even to one another. Good. And then I think about moving the front of the rib cage down. Well, somebody may need to mute their mic. Check in and make sure if you can see on the side that your mic is muted. I can come by and do that too if we need to. But again, front of the ribs in. And now as you're doing that, I want you to keep the ribs moving in and feel your chest and clavicle area open, right? So that we're moving our feet, but we're really connected to the shape that the rest of our body is in. Try this now. Take your two hands behind your head, and I want you to bend the knees and keep your head right where it is as you move the thighs back, right? So you're not creating a little extra unnecessary tension in your neck. Just pay attention to neck staying long and keeping that sensation sort of mirrored in your low back. Good. So now take two hands to your low back and feel just the lightest of stretches opening in the chest as your knees are continuing to bend. So we're just waking up your joints to get started. Good. So now I want you to hold. We'll actually try this a few times. You'll fly the arms out, continuing to move the thighs back, keeping your knees over your ankles, your rodillas sobre los tobillos, and you'll float the thighs back, open the chest, feel a little expansion through the arms. Very nice. Good. And then let's hold down here for just a moment. Try lifting your heels. Good. Just a few times. Lifting the heels, waking up that energy in the legs. And now see about holding the heels lifted and bending in the knees. Hello. Good morning. Buenos dias. Take maybe 5 more rounds here, bending, straightening the knees. If this is too much for your joints this morning, you can always just lower the heels. So now pause, let the heels come down, hands to your thighs, a little drum roll, en el regazo. Good, and then la cabeza arriba, your head, your cola arriba, and then you're gonna pull your head down towards your knees. Inhale, stretch, reach all the way up, and then exhale, rounding down. Take this one more time. Inhale, lift, stretch the front of your throat. This is an important little part of you to feel a little space being made. And now let the top of your head come down. And then we're gonna inhale, take your 2 arms out, and then walk your feet wide as well. Good. So now let's open the chest fully, completely, and then exhale, bend and lower just a hair. So you're gonna open and even maybe roll your hands back and then roll the palms under as you stand all the way up. So you're just creating little rotation in the shoulder joint, continuing to open the chest. Exhale, moving the thighs back, inhaling up, exhaling. Good. So now we'll inhale, big breath, exhale, hold, and then from here, pulse through the knees once again. So you'll take a 5, a 4, a 3. We're really waking up the legs for some standing poses. They're coming. 2 and 1. So now hold down here, Right heel, can you tap it down and up? These are your toes facing forward. We'll get to other configurations later. And now opposite side, heel comes down and up. I feel that kind of everything waking up here. 2 heels, down and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're gonna do a weight shift and reach side to side here. So feel the underside of your armpit getting a big stretch as the weight moves. Good. And then if it feels okay, you can start making this a bit of a balance by stretching and reaching the opposite leg out. Good, just taking this a few times, readjusting to the gravity when you are vertical. A big stretch, a big reach. Good. And then from here, we're gonna pause, let your 2 knees come down. Turn your 10 toes out now. Exhale, fingertips move overhead as the knees open wide. And then exhale, arms here to your sides. Good, so we'll bend, abriendo los brazos. Good. You can use your exhales through the nose to help you stay sort of relaxed. Mientras moviendo, y'all keep going. I'm gonna let Denise in to the party. Good. So now let's hold with the knees bent, and you'll lift a heel and then pulse from letting the stance come down. Good. And I'm just creating some energetic opposition between my arms because it feels nice. Switching here. And also it makes it more like a fun dance move. 3, 2, 1. Let's do 2 arms up, 2 heels, and then pulse from the pelvis. 5, 4, sitting bones down and up. 3, and 2, and 1. Heels down, drop that codo towards your muslo. So it's elbow towards thigh as you stretch, estirando cada brazo sobre la cabeza. So you're stretching each arm over your head, opening your armpits to the heavens, all the way. And again, using big exhales to help you generate a little bit more reach. Very nice. So now let's take 2 arms all the way up. And then this is my right leg. I'm gonna pivot everything towards my right leg, so I'm now in a bit of a lunge. So now take your 2 arms forward. You're gonna bend the knee and then let the arms come down with you. So here we go. Let's do about 5 of these. Inhale and exhale down slow. Feel yourself kind of taking gravity with your muscles, staying light with your joints. Here we go. It's 3 and 2 and 1. Very nice. Now from here, I'm just simply going to stretch, reach, pivot over to the other side. And the same thing, you're going to pull in with your arms as you lower. And we'll just wake up, taking that weight through our long, broad feet, through our steady tobillos, rodillas. Very nice. And now from here, let's go ahead, coming all the way up. Once again, I'm gonna now stretch, reach myself over this leg, and then exhale, sweep right back up. So this is my right leg, might be your left, but we're gonna come stretch, reach, feel longness in the low back. Good. So you're just waking up all those muscles, especially as your arms move back. Really feel right around your scapula, firming. Good. And then same thing, we're just gonna sweep, take the arms all the way over, pivot through the feet, and try that same action on the other side. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, stretch, reaching, taking the arms all the way up. Really let your back guide the way here. Inhaling, and then exhale. Good. So instead of pivoting this time, step your back foot in. Take your 2 palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms move up. And then you're gonna exhale, find yourself moving down into like a chair pose. So elbows moving to the thighs, inhale, and exhale down. Pushing into the feet, feeling your navel band, long, broad, supporting your low back mientras moviendo, right? Good, so now let's hold here for a moment, hands to the shin bones, and I want you to move your thoracic spine in and your navel up, and just focus there. Hold the arms back, and then stretch and reach. Again, just still waking up all that movement in the joints, keeping your head lifted above the tail, and the arms coming down and up. Good, so now hold the arms long, bend the two knees, step your right leg and your left leg back, and then let's reach your pelvis all the way up. So take the tip of the tailbone to the sky. El coccyx al cielo. And then I want you to lower down and really just watch the movement here of your tailbone. So it rises completely up, and then you're gonna slowly control that descent down towards the floor. Let's come up one more time, and then hold. Let your right leg move down and up by itself, right? So again, controlling the descent. Leg lifts, it lowers. Leg lifts and lowers. Hold the leg lift, bend and straighten the knee. 3 and 2 and 1. Now hold the knee bent and then scoop your belly in. And we'll intend to place the foot between your two hands. I'll give everybody a second. This is not the easiest move in the world, and we can break it down sometime. Push through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Hello, warrior one. So I want everyone, if you can, do you see how I've pushed the back heel into the floor? Even if that means bend the knee less. Does that make sense? So that you're actively stretching the calf and then creating, again, length through your back foot. Holding on here for just a moment. You're gonna take opposite elbow. This is my left elbow moving to my right thigh. And I'm gonna come bend over. And again, everybody do a little neck check here, right? It should feel like your neck is just totally relaxed, released as you come into this little twist. And then we'll inhale, sweep, take your arms up. This time we're gonna pivot away from the computer screen. Take your two hands forward. Now step the back leg in. Inhale, come all the way up. And then we're gonna do that sequence on the other side. So now bring your palms right in front of your heart. And we're gonna exhale, the elbows move in as you lower down. Stretching, reaching all the way up. Good. Inhale and exhaling. Navel pulls to the lumbar, arms lifted, like feeling the energy through your legs down and up. Good. So now we'll inhale and then exhale. Hold down here for a moment. Take your hands to your shins. Move the lumbar from here, just in, and then scoop the belly in to support it. And then exhale. Bring your arms into your side. So imagine you've got two very heavy things, but really you just have arms. Good. And your head is lifted above your chest. Excellent. So now when you lower down, lower slowly from the knees. Step the left foot and then the right foot back. Tailbone rises up. Exhale, it comes down. The way to make this good for your low back, everybody, is to really, really, con intención, you're gonna control the descent. Control your bajandoing, right? So the tailbone comes down. Your abdominal wall is really engaged. Let's now hold your pelvis lifted. And then just here, take a moment. Let your left leg come down and up in the hip socket. All right, so just watch the movement of the leg. Letting it rise and then come down really with control. Hold the left leg lifted. Now you're gonna bend and straighten the knee, or the leg closest to the computer screen, I guess is really what I mean. 2 and 1. Now from here, scoop your belly all the way in and place the foot between the hands. And that, again, I'm gonna give everybody time. I know it's a hard one. Plant the heel down, anchor your 2 feet. And this, right,
So when I'm right here and my hands are 1 inch above the floor, this hamstring is doing a lot of work. So make sure you're feeling that and not just coming into the knee. Does that make sense? All right, so now as you rise up, this is warrior one. More important to keep the back heel anchored into the floor. So we'll stretch, reach into this warrior one. Now your right elbow, your codo derecho to your muslo izquierdo, and you're moving the thighs back and you're really reaching this bottom side of the rib cage towards the thigh. Good, and then we're gonna inhale, come up, and you're gonna pivot once again away from the computer screen, but then this time, pause in the middle and take your hands to your ankles and stretch over your legs. Shake your head no, nod it yes, and then keep that pivot going until you're facing now the opposite direction. And now from here, let's just step the back leg in and come all the way up to standing. Good, so now try this with me. We're gonna inhale and just exhale, step to the center of your mat. And then softly with your knees, let's open and close. And open and close, right? So step the feet if that's what your body needs. But if you take a little light hopping, a little light springing, go there. And we'll take like 5 more and in. So they call these yogi hops. And just the idea is that you're asking your body to land as softly as possible. Last time, let's hold together for a moment. So mirror me, that will probably be the easiest thing. My left, your right, lift your heel up from the floor. So you'll externally rotate the leg. And then I want you to take this leg 5 times, lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now place the foot there on the shin. Hands in front of your heart, just breathe. Good. Exhale, set the foot down with control, with care. Let's do like 5 more yoga hops. So you're gonna open and then close. And open, close. Abrimos, cerramos. Abrimos, cerramos. Abrimos, cerramos. Una pausa. Hold for just a moment. Once again, recollect your weight in your feet. Now, my right, your left turns out the toes, not taking the hips. Don't put your twist of your pelvis into that movement. And then from there, lift the heel. And now it's foot to the shin. 5 breaths. Starting with a very basic balance here. Good. Exhale, set that foot down. I'm feeling really wild. So if you want to go into these yoga hops again, and now let's add a little step. So you're bending your torso kind of over your thighs and then opening wide, coming down low. Exhale, coming into a low position here. Try like 5 of these. So open and exhale, close. Open. Again, just step these if that's better for you. No pressure. 2 and 1, and now right back in. Just hold it. Feel your pulse. Feel your breathing. Good. My left, your right. The heel opens, it lifts, hands to the thigh, put the foot up on the shin bone. Palms can stay in front of the heart. Or dos brazos adelante y arriba. Good. So you're just taking the arms. So you'll notice balance is harder when you're breathing harder, right? So it's kind of part of the challenge is putting that little bit of extra exertion into a standing balance. 5 more, can we do that? Woo! Out. Oh, I just really sounded like a fitness instructor. Take that just a couple more times. 2 y 1. Una pausa. Pause, feel your breathing. Connect to it, drop the tailbone, my right, your left, the leg opens, taking the foot, if it will go up to the thigh, pie al muslo, your manos in front of your pecho, and then your two arms arriba, brazos arriba. And if that helps you balance, just think brazos arriba para arriba. Good. Exhale, releasing the arms, releasing the legs. And I just want you to kind of freestyle for a moment. So I think there's something nice about creating movement and then having to really find and hold stillness. So I'm just sort of having a freestyle here with my tailbone, letting my tailbone kind of carve some space. Alrededor. Muy bien. So now let's try balance like this. I'm gonna turn, this is my left side facing the computer. And then I want you to put your hands on your low back. Keep your low back right where it is. And then just lift your left leg down and up. 3 and 2 and 1. Good. So now take that left leg, reach it back just any amount. 5, keeping the knee bent. As you can kind of pretend you're stamping something. 2 and 1. Very nice, setting that leg down. Let's try it on the other side. So now the right leg, again, keeping your hands on your low back so your chest is open. And you'll lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now you're going to just stamp the leg. Whoa. Heel behind you. 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Good. So now, right leg down, lift the left leg, keep your low back where it is, and then take the hands to the shin. Good. And now I'm going to reach my right arm out. Slide my left hand to my ankle. Take a moment. Exhale, reach, lean into it. Whoa. Whoa. Yes, you're right, Nikki. We really got to work those standing balances. Let's try that on the other side. So I'm going to take my right foot, step it all the way around. So now this is my right side facing the computer screen. 2 arms up. Exhale. Lift my right shin. Hands here to the shin. Just breathe into this for a moment. Letting the tailbone drop, shoulder blades down the back. Breathing. And now if it feels okay, hand to the ankle, arm can lift, thigh can move back, chest can open. Good, and then exhale, 2 arms can come back, bring yourself into your center. Now step your left foot to the right side or the outside foot. Another little soutenu, palms together. This is my left side facing the computer. I'm gonna pull the leg up and then exhale, reach my leg out. And just give this as many breaths as my body can allow here, aiming for about 5. In and out the nose will help you relax. And then exhale, bring it in. Again, you can now step, well, let's actually go this way. Step your outside leg in and pivot. And now we'll take that same thing on this side. So palms are together. And then you'll exhale and reach the leg out. Perhaps reach the arms out also. Keeping your head, your neck lifted, supported. Good. And then exhale, bringing those limbs back in. This time turn towards the computer screen. Lift my left, your right. Maybe take your hands to the big toe. Really feel this right leg move up into the hip socket. And then if it feels comfortable, John, I saw you doing this seated earlier, so I knew you couldn't wait to do it standing. Good. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Bend the knee, let it come down. And then the opposite arm, you'll lift, hands to the big toe. Pull the belly in, feel that anchoring energy through your tailbone. as you extend the leg. So really dropping the hip, or I should say lifting the femur bone into the hip socket, dropping the hips, letting the tailbone lower, and then reaching through your legs. Exhale, release. Floss, or whatever you gotta do. Good. Try some figure eights with your tailbone, if that hasn't happened yet. Good. And then from here, let's go ahead, let's see. Try to think, let's do one more standing balance and then we'll move on for now. So this is my left, your right, foot to the thigh. And you're just feeling this knee should be getting a big stretch. And as the knee and the hip relax, the foot can come closer up into the hip crease. Arms can float out, right? So just play with balance. If it feels safe, if it feels comfortable, you can fold over this leg. If your body says no, just work on finding the balance and the stretch in the knee and the hip. Right? So no agenda. And then from here, as you feel comfortable, go ahead, bring yourself up and then desdoblar la rodilla, unfold the knee. Very important to take steps with each joint, cada articulación. So now the leg comes up. This is my right, your left. Foot to the hip crease. Good. So you should feel stretch here and stretch here. Two arms can maybe reach out for a moment. And you're kind of pressing the foot and thigh into one another. And then from here, you're just going to slowly, slowly, slowly balance and come all the way down. Good, giving yourself, if again, just working on standing on one leg can be very useful. So the other thing you could do is keep a chair close by so that you didn't have to fold all the way to the floor. Good, so now let's just see about finding standing, right? By letting the weight just rest in the left foot, extending the opposite. There you go. So now from here, let's go ahead and come back, left side facing the mat. I'm going to take my palms to the floor. I'm going to take my left leg and right leg back into a little plank for a moment. Good. And then in this little plank, I'm going to once again let my thighs move towards the floor, holding another little Bhujangasana. Press deep through my palms. Lifted up through my abdomen. From here, slowly let the knees come down. And now move your thighs back. So I'm going to place a blanket in the center of my mat and put my knees on top. So starting here for just a moment, again, left side's facing the computer screen. Go ahead, inhale, stretch, reach your thighs back. Let this part of your ankle, sort of top of your ankle, stretch as you come down, and then inhale, sweep, take the arms up. So now, if it feels comfortable, letting the whole top of your head kind of roll to the floor for a moment, and then finding your weight kind of grounding through your bottom limbs, bringing yourself back up. Inhale, and then exhale, letting that weight come down. Then a little roll through your head. Exhale, lifting. Let's do that one more time. Good. So your head doesn't have to come all the way down, but good. So now this time, the palms come down. And we're going to lift your leg facing the computer screen. And reach my opposite arm back. And see about the hand and foot just coming together for a moment. I'm going to now let that arm come down, pivot my opposite leg out, and then find myself in a kind of modified side plank. Good. And then let this hand and foot come together. Good. Now let the top leg come to the floor. Lift your two hips, stretch your side fully, completely. And then exhale, return to all fours. Let's try that on the other side. So now just lifting your right leg or leg furthest from the computer screen and opposite hand, letting them stretch together for a moment. And now that hand comes down, foot pivots slightly out as you come into a little side plank for just a moment. Reaching out through the limbs. Good, now the foot is gonna come down, the arm is gonna come up, and then you'll reach your rib cage up too. So you've almost made like a little rainbow for yourself. And from here, taking that hand back down and folding the knees. So you're back on all fours. Let's go ahead and take your forearms now to the mat and exhale, lift your hips totally. Okay, so this should feel like a lift in your hips and then also kind of stretch through your shoulders. I'm holding on to the sides of my mat here just to feel slightly more anchored. And then let's try this. You're going to bend your two knees. Let the hips move away from the computer screen, and voila, we're facing the opposite side of the mat. Let's try working on our abdominals in a little Navasana sequence, shall we? So you'll inhale, stretch, reach up, and then exhale, come down. As you come down, extend. This is my right leg out, and just hold for a couple of breaths. Good, so the navel is knitted, abdominal engaged, neck is totally released. Let's inhale, sit all the way up, move your lumbar spine forward, and then exhale, float it back, and then let the opposite side lift. So again, your belly is engaged, neck release, shoulders, you can do a little check-in. Good, and then from here, you'll inhale, sit that all the way up. This time I want us to come down, let your fingertips move under your shoulders, and you can even take this action just a few times, right? So you're keeping your torso nice and steady. Good, and then from here, take your two knees up for just a moment. Good, and then take the shins so they're slightly more facing el cielo, and then the arms can float out. And then let's try this gradually, inch by inch. Extend the legs a little more deeply. A few big breaths here. Again, you don't have to force a full extension of the legs. That might be terrible for your back and hips. So now we'll bend the two knees. Inhale, stretch up, placing the palms under the shoulders. One more time, lift the hips. Use another breath and exhale to come down. Right ankle to the left thigh, and I'm going to do fist for wrist just for variation's sake. Hold this lift. Good. Exhale, allow the pelvis to come right back down, and then extend your bottom leg. Ooh, and maybe your arms too. But just again, once chest is open, low back supported, breathing, breathing, breathing. Exhale, the foot returns to the floor. Inhale, sitting up. And now we'll do left ankle, right thigh, big breath. Hands here underneath your shoulders. Push into the foot, lift the pelvis. Fully experience that lift by pressing the heel down. Take in your tailbone up. Respirando profundamente por la nariz. Muy bien, bajamos la pelvis. You're gonna lower the pelvis down. Exhale, extend the bottom leg. Extend your two arms. 5 respiraciones, 5 breaths here. Hard. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bajamos las piernas. Good, so now let's try this. I'm gonna slide my weight just slightly forward. Take my hands to the thighs, and then exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the mat, and then let my knees come over my chest. Good, so here, go ahead now, interlace your fingers Then you can move the hands behind the head, and then you'll exhale, extend the legs, and lift your head and chest. Now let's bring the knees back in. Feel your neck, your back, your shoulders really relax into the floor. And then scoop the belly deep and allow your legs to reach out. And then abdominals can relax as the knees come in. So finding that relationship between hard work and being able to approach it from a relaxed place. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, abdomen pulls in, legs reaching out. Last time, belly deep. And you'll exhale, lift, good. And now let's just extend the arms to the sides for a moment. And then I want you to take the hands behind the thighs, begin to lower your head back down to the mat, and take your hands now to your shin bones as perhaps the thighs come up, as perhaps your shins start to stretch over your face. Good. And then once again, slowly, 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 allow your tailbone to come back down towards the floor, feet to the floor, elbows to the floor, pelvis, la pelvis arriba. And this is a great position here, Satyabandha Sarvangasana, to explore the compacted hips, right? So feeling your hips moving together, not splaying out, but compacted, pulling in. All right. And then you can stay right here, or if it feels nice, reach your hands into the floor and then walk your feet back towards your hands, and then deepen your back bend by moving into Chatuspadasana. So every time we work on back bends, we're creating a lot of lift in your chest, lift around your lung tissue. Right, so it puts a lot of, or I should say it takes a lot of pressure off of those vital organs. Good, let's exhale and let the pelvis come right back down. And now so you can stay in that expression of back bend or bring your palms under your shoulders, press your hands here into the floor, reaching your fingertips back. So everybody who's like, oh, I don't do this pose, don't worry about whether or not you do the pose. Just try to put yourself in this position here with your fingertips reaching back. You don't have to worry about lifting yourself yet. In fact, if you never do this pose, I want you to come in and just start this tiny little baby lift of your pelvis, right? So get comfortable with lifting your body parts here, right? And then if you want, I want you to try lifting the pelvis, now pushing some weight in your hands, and then you come all the way back down. So pelvis up, weight in some hands, and then right back down. So just try this gently. And then you may find after a time, it feels okay to come onto your head. And you could breathe here, or you could practice extending the arm, right? So just know it's a process to get into any big pose, and give yourself permission to have a process. Un proceso para aprender. All right, bodies need to learn. You can exhale, release, come out. Bring your hands here over your knees once again. Now you'll bring the hands behind the head. I want you to check in with your elbows, your neck. And then we're gonna exhale, lift, reaching out. Bring your ribs, left ribs towards your right thigh, and just gently pulse into that. Take in a 10, 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending your knees, bringing your knees back in. Take another big breath, and then exhale, take that twist the opposite direction for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, inhale back to the center. Now this time leave your head on the floor, and then I just want you to reach your legs over to the right and let the bottom leg come down and up for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7. Really feeling your center knitted back together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sweeping the legs over to the opposite side. Find a point in space you can really hold comfortably. And then the bottom leg comes down and up. 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending your knees, bringing everything back in. Just sweep your legs around, now in a little circle. So this can feel a little bit like abdominal work and also like a massage for your back. And then you can take those little circles, sweeping around in the opposite direction. Good. And then from here, let's let your feet come down towards the floor and open the knees. So now let's see, press your heels in and then see about your shoulder blades actually coming to lift all the way off of the floor with your hands behind your head. So if you can see this, the lift comes really from the thoracic spine. You can feel the weight there of your head kind of held by your hands, and give this lift of the thoracic spine a few breaths. If you need to come out of it, go ahead. Just knowing, being strong through your upper spinal extensors, right? So a lot of times the postural deviation many people have from sitting too much is the thoracic spine moving this way, right? And when you can see that the neck is too tight, your hips are too tight. So this act of being able to lift the middle of your spine and kind of train those spinal extensors to be strong in this configuration is a nice practice. So now exhale, bring your knees all the way in. Let's just slide your hands behind your right calf. And then I want you to allow that calf to move a little bit closer to you. And you can even reach your legs all the way up and start moving your tailbone down towards the floor. Good. So from here, take your left hand to the outside of your right heel, and you can take your left foot to the floor and then stretch this leg over. Woo-hoo-hoo. Tighten this through the IT band, through the fibula. Very nice. Now just bring the right ankle to your left thigh, and then you're going to wrap your hands around the thigh and deeply stretch the piriformis on the right side. So you can imagine your thighs just melting towards your body. Give these stretches your deepest breaths. So you can allow those tissues to release after all those standing poses. I think it'll feel better. All right, so now bending your right knee, allowing it to relax, interlacing your fingers, and then turning your hands backwards. Let's go ahead and stretch toward your left thigh. Right, so let the left thigh come a little closer to your torso. And then you can lightly, just feel a second, this is your core, right? As you lightly set your right foot down, then the right hand can come to the outside of the left heel. And then you're gonna stretch the leg just ever so slightly to the right till you feel that deep, deep work on the outside. And you can tell the difference. I mean, the nerve sensations are different when you're really deeply stretching your connective tissue in addition to your muscular tissue. So sometimes that can be even more intense. Let your exhales keep elongating. And now let's let the foot, the ankle, come to your musla, to your thigh, and then you'll bring the hands up on the shin. Ooh. And deeply, deeply stretch the left hip, your external rotator group. underneath your glutes. Again, keep letting your exhales get longer and longer. There's also, important to work toward breathing as much as you can in and out of the nose, the deeper sense of relaxation. So now let both feet come to the floor for a moment. And then I just want you to open your body kind of as wide as you can take it. So you'll notice just taking your feet very far apart will be a big stretch for your hips. So open all of that up. And then let's place your hands on your abdomen for just a moment. And I want you to pay attention to your breathing, taking it nice and low. And just seeing how much expansion you can create down low. And so now I want you to focus on, as you're taking your breath low, make your exhale just a couple of seconds longer than your inhale. And we can place our left index finger on your left nostril, and you can take a few big breaths in and out the right side. Let's try switching the position of the two hands. Right hand to your right nostril, closing that nostril off, and now we'll breathe through the left side a few times. Still feeling the breath moving low. And now I want you to just reach your arms out into a big X position. And then let that position of your hands kind of even more deeply stretch your lung, chest, heart area. And put some focus there as you breathe. Let's now move our hands, our fingertips into our scalp. And I want you to rub behind your ears. Maybe lightly tap on your jaw and your forehead. Maybe take opposite hand to ear and pull lightly. Trying that on either side. Take two thumbs and press in right around the eyebrows. And on the outsides of your eyebrows, you can rub lightly into your temples. Let's take a big stretch up and then hug your knees over your chest. You can cross your ankles and even rub your feet just a little bit.
Oh, changing the cross of the feet, and rubbing the other side. Rocking out the back, meciendo la espalda. And then let's giramos. En el lado derecho, you're going to roll to your right side. Push through the hands. Find ourselves in a seated position, sentado. And just bring your palmas juntas. Good. Bueno, todo el mundo, relájate hoy. Just relax today. All right, enjoy. Disfruta y namaste.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias, todo el mundo. Muchas gracias por participar.